Good afternoon, and what a glorious day it is here in my small part of the world. The sun is shining, woohoo! After weeks and weeks of seemingly drab and dreary wet weather, the sun has put in an appearance and spring looks like it's springing, which is lovely. Last week I shared with you an unboxing of the new Colorful Kaleidoscope kit from Stampin' Up. And this week I'm going to share with you some alternatives and show you how this kit helps you make really quick and easy shaker cards. So hopefully hello Lynn, thank you. I hope you can hear me and see me okay. If you can, give me a thumbs up. And I'll turn the camera around and we'll get on with what we're here for, which is the good stuff, not me. And I'm just rearranging the stand. Oh, we have a thumbs up. Hi Lydia, hi Mandy, hope you're both okay. And there we go. Let's turn that round. Oh, we got a nice bit of shine on there. But this is the kit. It's called Colorful Kaleidoscope, and last week we opened it up and we made these beautiful cards. Let me show you what they were. Well, before I do that, let me grab all my bits and pieces out. I have got some samples I have already made. These are what we made last week. And aren't they gorgeous? Just loving them. Oh, sorry. Just loving them. Hi Lydia, how you doing, honey? And here are some that I have made in advance over the weekend. Hi Kay, hi Andrea. Let me start with these ones. I took a third of the kit and I cut up envelopes and I cut up all the bits. This one is just a piece of the inside of an envelope and some extra cardstock. This one is using this part, and I made a card, so you can't really see how it stands up, but it stands up and you can see the reflection. No, you can't see the reflection on there. No, I can. So that delicateness comes through on there. I made that one. I then went on and made this one as well, just using extra cardstock. I didn't use any extra pattern paper. A lot of this is actually the envelopes and the card bases. I just used another card base. Same here, I used some extra cardstock for the blue, Night of Navy and the Bermuda Bay. Bermuda Bay, oh my days, poor Bermuda Bay is being retired at the end of April. Oh, I shall be sad to see it go. I do like that colour. And then I had some fun making masks from the masks. So I turned it over. You can just have a peek here. You can see there's the colour there. I turned it over, and first of all, I sponged through it with the ink pad. And then I cut out this part of the front of the card and put it on top. But what I was left with was this. And I dabbed it with my little mini ink pad, my ink spot. And I just literally dabbed all over the top of it. I really like the distressed kind of look it gives. Now, Kay, I know, really does like vintage and distressed. So you might like this effect. And that was literally, I put the die cut piece on top of a piece of white and I tapped all over. So I got 2 for 1. So I got 2 cards there using those. I then made myself a shaker card. Can you see it? Can you hear it? I must admit, this was a little bit, there was lots of knife work, and because I cut it with a craft knife. I cut the center panel out and then I trimmed down the whole thing, and then I put the laser cut piece behind it, stuck that down, then I put some acetate there and made a shaker card. But what I want to show you today, oh, and I still have these pieces ready to make another card, and this is what I have left from a third of the kit. So 3 cards, 3 envelopes, and I've made an extra 2, 4, 6, 7 cards. It's so easy. You just need to add some little bit of something to it. So let me put those to one side and let me get out another. This is what we have left. So we're going to put these all to one side. I'm going to take these die cut pieces, the laser cut pieces, I think they are really, or very intricate die cut pieces, and I'm going to make a shaker card. Can you see how that's folded over? We have to be they're quite delicate and very, very easy to destroy if you're not careful. So as I'm taking them apart, you have to be a bit careful. So which one shall I use? Shall I use the first one who puts the comment up decides? Shall I use the Bermuda Bay or the Petal Pink? This or this? What do you think, ladies? I don't know which one to go for. Anyone? Blue. Thank you, Mandy. And Andrea agrees with you, so we're going to play with this one. So we're going to use it as a Bermuda Bay, or should we go white? No, we're going to use Bermuda Bay. Thank you, Lynn. We're all in agreement. We will need our strips from the pack. We will need, obviously, the stamps and the embellishments to decorate it. But first of all, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our shaker card. I have chosen to use some of these sequins. They're called For Everything Fancy sequins, and they are still available. You said Blue to get your comment in first. And we have, look at these. Aren't they gorgeous? They're so pretty. So pretty. So now the question is, do we go green or do we go blue for our sequins? Oh, I know Mandy will say blue because she likes a blue. Or do we go pink? Oh, pink looks quite nice. What do you think? Pink, ladies? Pink, green or blue? While you're making your decisions about that, as always, first one up gets to choose. I'm going to find some cardstock. I think I'm going to have a Bermuda Bay card base and some white mats. Green, pink, pink, pink. Oh, Mandy, you look to... Ah, how about we put both in? Pink and green. Let's make it first, shall we? Okay, so I've got my piece of cardstock. This is going to be my card base. I'm just going to cut this. I trim my card bases at 10.5 centimetres portrait because I like my cards that way round. I'm then going to score it at 14.85. Oh, my scorer's not quite in. I'm then going to fold my card in there, get my good old dandy handy bone folder and give it a good burnish because we does like a professional finish to our projects. So that's my card base. Green is your a bit of both. Green is your favourite colour. I like green too, so what I think I will do, because I'll show you that way around so you can see, that's going to take up a lot of that space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a matte of the Bermuda Bay that is going to be roughly the same size, so that I can get that trimmed onto there. So let's put that in the right length. Yep, that's the right length. Okay, so now, as you can see, that's that way round, not that way round. I think I can make that a little bit smaller. So I'm going to trim that little off. So that's going to be 1/2 centimetre narrower. And how long is this actual piece? This measures in at 13.3. So we're going to go for 13.3 on there. So now this piece should be exactly the same size. Now I make my shaker cards as a separate piece a lot of the time. And I do this, do I want it to be green or do I want white behind? Oh, let me grab a piece of white. Would white look better behind it? You can tell I haven't thought a lot about this. I think it needs to be white. Let's redo that. Let's recut this panel at white. I know it was 13.3. But I can't remember how wide it was, so let's measure that panel. Good old grid paper comes in handy. It's 10 centimetres. So, double check my measuring again, and I thought I'd cut it the wrong way around, and I have. But it's not a problem, it's only paper. Have you all had a good weekend? I have had a busy one, but a very happy one, so that's all good. And Easter is coming up. Have you all got some good plans for Easter? Yeah, I agree, Ali. Hi, Ali. Yeah, and Lynn. Sorry. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, the other thing that we need is a piece of acetate. Now, I'm using a piece of Stampin' Up window sheet, but that doesn't mean you have to. You can use a piece from packaging. You could use a, excuse the noise, you could use a piece from a cello bag, or all sorts of things that you can use to do this. It's a very forgiving little process. So I'm just going to cut my acetate sheet. Stampin' Up call this window sheet, and I'm cutting it the same size as my white mat and my panel. I'm just going to double check. Yep, that fits nicely onto there. So the very first thing I'm going to do is actually attach the die cut piece to my piece of acetate, as onto my acetate sheet. Now, what am I going to use for that? Well, I usually use tear and tape. Red tape works. Anything that's got a bit of thing. But because this is quite a sticky, quite narrow, I'm actually going to bring in, I think this red liner tape is going to be the right width. Let me just double check. Oh, even that's a little bit wide. Do I have anything narrower? No, I don't think I do. So we're going to go with this. So I'm just going to put a little bit there. This is the reason I don't like red tape. Nothing to do with red tape. It's to do with the fact that I don't have the ability to tear it off. I have to cut it. It's the height of laziness, I know, but there we go. Okay, so we're just carefully sticking that down. And a couple of bits in the middle on the other side. And we'll be okay. You've now made 3 of the pop-up cards. Oh, you enjoyed that, didn't you? It's very easy when you understand how it works. It's called a freestanding pop-up card for those who don't know. And if you go and have a look at our Facebook page or our blog, you will find there is a short tutorial on there on how to do it. It's a fun 3D standing easy card with lots of space to decorate, which is always nice. Okay, let me get my take your pick tool to peel the backings off of this. Okay, so I'm going to take one side. I'm going to do all of these because I'm living life. I'm going to be dangerous. Fold that one off. Get this one up. There we go. Oh, that's the other problem with tape backing, isn't it? It becomes very static. Oh, and look, I've got a little red line through there. Let's get rid of that. We don't want that. I'm sticking to everything. No, it's okay. All right, so now let's very carefully, I may have to line this up in my fingers so that I can attempt to get it straight. Okay, it's not 100% straight, but as you can see, I've gone over slightly there, but that's where we bring in our trusty little trimmer. You can use scissors, of course, it's entirely up to you. And I'm just going to trim that off. I think there's a little bit up there as well. Let's clean that off. Oh, take away the bit there, that would help. And I think we're okay. So we now have our die cut piece attached to a piece of acetate. We're now going to go back to what you get in the kit, our beautiful long thin strips, and we are going to go around on top of the acetate with them. This is what's going to create the dimension that's going to allow our project to work. One tip I will give you is make sure that you butt up your strips or whatever you're using right up together so that there are no gaps. You don't want it to be able to come through any of the gaps. Or your sequins or glitter or whatever you're deciding to put on there. So that's nice and neatly up. Let's grab my scissors and trim that off there. And I'm going to grab another one. Now you can buy 3D foam strips, the same as these ones from Stampin' Up. They come in much longer, but they're the same kind of thing. You could always use 3D foam that you've trimmed to fit, and maybe I would suggest you doing 2 layers. Make sure you've got the sticky side down to glue, not the other side. Because you do need a bit of height so that everything can move. You need to be able to make it move, allow it to shimmy and sparkle and all the rest of it. Okay, there we go. Let's just trim that little edge off there. And that little bit might just fit. Just there. Oh, look at that. How handy. Hi, Debs. How you feeling, honey? So, now as this is a larger area that we're playing with, that bit is just bowing down there. I don't want that showing, that white showing. So let's just lift that up and see if we can get that edge to line up a little better so it's not showing on the inside. That's better. As it's a large area, we could put some here in the middle to help support, because it's quite flexible. You're good. Well done. So what I would do is I would take another piece of the strip because you need it to be the same sort of size as what you've used on the outside. And I will put some small pieces in, being careful to line them up so that they're not visible from the other side. That would go there. I mean, you can put as much or as little as you like in it. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit fussy, I suppose, because I want it to be a little bit more sturdy, particularly if it's going through the post. You don't want it to fall flat, do you? Not after you put all the effort in. Anyway, so let's just put another piece there and there. Needs to go across a little bit there, and we'll have that piece going there and this bit going here. So make sure they're all down. Now, another tip for when you're doing this is to take your anti-static bag, and whilst the tape cover is still on, please don't do it when the tape cover's off because it won't stick, is just go round and rub the edges of the tape so that your bits aren't going to cling to the insides so much. It also helps stop it sticking on the acetate. So we don't need excess. I've got a little brush here. I should just brush mine off with, and I can get the brush out. There we go. Now, what can you put in your shaker card? There is endless opportunities for what you can put in your shaker card. You can put glitter, you can put punched out shapes, you can put buttons, you can put die cut pieces, anything you like, really. The list is kind of endless. So I've got my panel, my die cut that's now laden with a piece of acetate and lots of 3D foam. So I'm now going to add in my sprinkles. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? They are just gorgeous. So I'm going to give quite a big handful in here because it's actually quite a large area for a shaker card. Normally shaker cards aren't quite this big, but this one, because it has the panel on the front, the die cut piece, you need to be able to see what you've got going on. Look at those. Oh, so pretty. And I'm just putting them, this one's got little pearls in it as well. It's so cool. So I'm going to give it a good mix of pink and green. Get all the pieces off my fingers. Give it a little shimmy so it's no higher than the edge pieces, the foam. Okay, now this is the tricky part. Peeling off the tape cover whilst trying very hard not to spill everything that's in there and not getting too sticky. And I'm very good at getting sticky. So let's keep going and we might get this done today. Okay. There we have it. And last long one. And I am going to take off these backing pieces from the inside because it helps create little channels and areas where the sprinkles will kind of flow around. And just, well, I think it just adds a little bit of movement more. So very carefully remove these without spilling everything. There we go. Oh, there's an escapee that you can go back in. Now the tricky part. Let's get this on here. So what we've got to do is very carefully, I highly recommend that you do this without a camera under your nose or your phone under your nose, is we're going to sandwich everything in, and this is effectively the top piece of bread. There. And there we have our shaker card. Well, it's not a card at all, it's just a panel. But can you see where by putting the pieces underneath those pits in the middle, we're giving it some areas where it won't run to? I think in real life, I don't know if it's really showing on here, but this is glittering away like crazy. So what am I going to do now? I've made my shaker. Now is the easy part. It's putting the card together. So now I can see a little bit of tape sticking out there and there. I'm just going to use my nail to nudge that in a fraction. I think I'm going to go portrait, landscape for this card, but it would work absolutely beautifully. Oh, I don't know now. I've got to make decisions. It's so hard. Portrait or landscape? Come on, guys. You can help me for this one. You are good at helping me out. Thank you, Mum. I think I may put my sentiment there. What do you think? Or do I have a little sentiment going across and just have a little gold? Portrait it is. Now, do we have our sentiment? Oh, do we go cover up the middle of that piece and just have all the goodies sprinkling around? Oh, or do we go for a smaller sentiment with perhaps a little piece of gold underneath, just to make it look pretty, like that? Definitely going portrait. Everybody's saying portrait. Like that, or like that. Oh, decisions. It's very hard, you know. Oh, I keep getting distracted by the pretty little bits in the background. But I do know one thing I want to do, and that is decide whether I want to put some white under there, because it's a bit narrow on my card base there. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it like that. So let's get this stuck down before I change my mind, shall we? I'm going to use some... Doesn't matter how large or how small you make your shaker feature. Smaller hides less. That's kind of where I was thinking too. Let's get this, try and get this lined up so it's in there as neatly as we can. Oh, no, we need to go over a bit. There we are. I'll turn that over and give it a bit of pressure that way. A rectangle across the middle of the star. Oh, thank you, Janet. I like that idea. So there. Or there. I suppose it will also depend on if we decide to put... Oh, nearly lost it. Do we put one of those? Oh, yeah. No, hang on. Let's see what it looks like if we put a... How about if we went like that? How's that looking, guys? Take the gold away, Janet says. Just have the white. Or we could heat emboss our sentiment on a piece of Bermuda Bay in white. Let's give that a go, shall we? I've got my buddy out, so let's give that a bit quick butt off. Low down so you don't cover so much. Yeah, that's kind of where my brain is ticking as well. We need a nice long sentiment. What have we got? Wishing you a magical birthday. Or, and I love you so much. Just because you're special to me. Just because you're special to me. It sounds nice, doesn't it? Let's let that relax there for a moment whilst I grab, move a few things so I can get to the heat tool. And you'll have to bear with in a moment as I use the heat tool. So, pick up my stamp on the block, check it's clean, bring out my Versamark. Let's give it a go. Nice and inked up. Make sure my strip is as straight as I can get it. Stamp. I'm going to stamp in the middle of here simply because it then gives me a little bit, 1, 2, 3, of wiggle room about what I do with it. Let's find the white embossing powder. Of course, I guarantee the one I pick up will be clear. Yes, it always is. Oh, come back. All is forgiven. No, that's clear as well. I obviously have too much clear embossing powder. What do we have here? White. So, I'm just going to use a little scrap of paper for this. Let's just... I always tip far too much on because I'm always worried I'm not going to get enough. To your friend Mandy. Oh, that's because you are special to me. Mandy and I have known each other over 30 years. Yes, we are that old, aren't we, Mandy? Yeah, we're not far off of 40 years. Oh, that's scary. That is scary. Okay, so bear with as I use the heat tool. I always like to warm mine up before, but please make sure you don't point it at anything because it will melt it. Okay, so just hold on to that with there. Just because. There we go. Wasn't too bad, I hope. Okay. Just because you're special to me. Maybe with just a little smidge of gold underneath it. I think that's a bit long. Let me trim that end off. I'm going to go for a jaunty angle because then I don't have to worry about it being straight. And we can take that end and there like that. What about that? Is that still allowing everything to show, but giving it a little bit of class with a little touch of gold? We could put a few more of those, these gold gems. What else could we use? Do we want more sparkle? No, we don't want any more sparkle on the outside, do we? No, Cary, be sensible. Thank you, Janet. Where are you from, Janet? There we go. Just get that stuck on there. I think I quite like this. Oh, no, I don't want it that squiffy. I don't mind squiffy, but not that squiffy. Do I want to, shall I trim? Can you see? Shall I trim that angle to replicate that angle? Ah, from Ontario. So you're early in the morning. Okay, so I'm going to use my pencil and just mark where I want to trim that. And I will use my little trusty guillotine because I'm not very good at cutting straight. So let's just line that up and chop that off. So, do you have snow? Oh, hi, Betty. Yes, trim it. Thank you. Let's trim. 11:40. Ooh, not too bad then. There. I'm quite happy with that placement. Does everybody agree? I think that's good. I don't think I'm going to put it up on 3D foam because it's already quite a fat card. Oh no, hang on. Let me look at where this glue is going to go because we do not want to put glue too much. I'm just going to pop some there and on that edge. Yeah, because otherwise it'll go on the acetate and that won't be as attractive as it could be. So let me line up my card base on my grid paper. Just gives me a chance at getting it straight. There we are. And that is how I make quick and easy. Oh no, I need to put 2 of these down here. Sorry, do we want that one there and that one there? No, I don't like that. There. Does that look okay? So that's how I make quick and simple shaker elements for your cards. This kit, as I said before, and I will say it many times, I'm sure, the Colorful Kaleidoscope kit from Stampin' Up is absolutely gorgeous and just opens up the world to what you can do with a kit with just a few simple additions. I mean, I've made this pretty shaker card today with just a little bit extra cardstock and some pretty sprinkles. I made this one with a little bit of effort, just cutting out. I still have this one to put together, but it'll get done. Gives me something else to do. And yes, it will still fit in Mandy's letterbox. So there is that same die cut panel. I used it as a stencil for this card. I used the stencil, but I changed the colour by adding our ink spot. I literally just dabbed this over the top to do this, and look how that turned out. So I've got those 3 cards there using the same thing, totally different. I have got, oh, there's piles and piles of them. Oh, lovey, are you feeling okay? What's wrong? Oh, if I can do anything, give me a shout. I'm not that far away. So we have that one. Don't forget to use the gorgeous envelopes. You know, we can't leave an envelope. They're too pretty. And that one. This is the original. This was my pulling it apart and re-putting it back. And then that one. And there's that. So from this to this and so much in between. I've made this huge pile of cards and I still have enough to make at least another 5-6 cards. Oh, you've got the horrible bug. Oh, lovely. Well, all I can do is say, don't eat and drink anything other than plain water, flat lemonade, and then tomorrow just bananas, toast, white rice, plain boiled white rice, applesauce for 48 hours. And if it gets worse after that, go to the doctor's. That's what Dr. Cary has prescribed today. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed seeing me put together my Shaker card. Oh, you can't tolerate fluids. Oh, rich tea biscuit, love. Just have a rich tea biscuit, nibble it, and get well soon. Because you're coming to our all-day class on the 22nd, and I'm hoping to see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow evening we have a craft and chat session on Zoom, if anybody's interested. It starts at 7 p.m. British Summer Time, so I don't know where that is where you are. But if you'd like to join us, send me a message and I will get a link for you as soon as. So, take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. See you next week. Bye-bye.